3, 2, 1. And we are live and we're back. Welcome to Face the Camera. My name is Brad Powell and we have an exciting show today. Great to see you guys showing up. 3 p.m. every Tuesday, we're going live and we're going to get in front of the camera. And today I have a special topic because, first of all, we need a distraction, right? So there's this thing going on in the world right now where there are a lot of distractions. Like the world is filled with distractions. And so as a solo entrepreneur, as a small business person, as somebody who is wanting to reach out and get your message out into the world, to start talking to and actually start serving the people who you are here to serve, that your business is really made for, how do you do it? How do you break through? And in particular, how do you do stuff, using this medium, using live video, so that you're actually moving people, so that not only will they take action, but they will convert, that they will actually start buying your stuff, that they'll actually buy. So that's the topic of today. How to make videos that convert. And if you're here, just joining me, say hello. Love to see where you're watching from. I know that if you're here in the United States, that today is a distracting day. Today is a day that's full of anxiety because of the election. And I just thought I would come on once again and serve in the way that I serve and provide a distraction from what's going on in the election. Because you know what? No matter who wins today, doesn't matter. Like who wins, whoever wins, there's only one person who is the one who's responsible for your success in the coming year, all of next year. There's one person who's responsible for your success, and that person is you. So, this is the good news. Like, we can take responsibility and we can go on with our day and with our lives and with our work, knowing that we're the ones that make it happen. So if you've already made your choice and you've already voted, great. Let's move on. And if you haven't yet voted, oh my gosh, stop watching this video and go vote, because that's, if you're here in the United States, this is our time. This is our time to make those choices. So take responsibility, show up, vote, and then as soon as you do that, move on and let's do our work. Let's do the work we're here to do, the real work. So the real work in this case for me is helping you figure out how to use this medium, how to use live video, live streaming, so that your message is getting out further than it's ever gone before. And you're taking advantage, like actually now is the time when you can be taking advantage of the opportunities that we have in front of us. Yes, it's true. Things are shut down. And guess what? Live video is still here. So you can reach people and you can talk to them in real time, in person, live, in the moment, in a way that we've never been able to do before. And so when you're doing this, like when you do this from one day or 1 week to the next, it may often seem as though you're not getting anywhere, or you're not making much progress, or people aren't really resonating, or they're not showing up in the way that you would like them to, or they're not showing up in the greatest numbers that you would like them to. Or maybe you're making videos and, they don't actually respond, like they're not coming in the door. They're not actually buying whatever it is that you're offering. They're not actually being moved to take action and start working with you. So whatever that looks like for you, I am here to help you. I'm going to talk about 3 essential ingredients that you want to employ when you're going live that will in fact start moving the needle, that will in fact turn people who are passive viewers, who are passively watching your video, and actually turn them into people who would decide, you know what, I'm going to take action. And you know what, I like this person and I want to work with them, and they're going to start buying from you. So these are the three things that we're going to talk about today. And I'm just going to glance in the chat and see, I don't see any comments yet. So if you're here, say something. Oh, cool. Someone, you're going to have to tell me who you are, is from Laguna Beach, California. Oh my gosh. I'm jealous because I'm here on the other coast in Boston. And I'm telling you, even though it's a sunny day, I bet it's not as warm as it is in Laguna Beach. And we're not hanging out at the beach. Or if you are hanging out at the beach today, you're all bundled up with a scarf and mittens and hats and gloves. So, yeah, I'm jealous. All right, so the three things. I want to get on with the three things. And I'm just going to glance at my notes. Oh yeah, before I actually jump in here, I want to acknowledge that this video, like the streaming that I'm doing, this is partly made possible by new friends of mine known as Restream. And Restream is becoming my new best friend. And partly that's because I'm using the Restream tool. And so the things that you're seeing on the screen, like the Face the Camera logo, and right now the Restream logo, and when I put up titles, down here in the bottom, that's all being made possible inside the Restream dashboard. But that's not the coolest thing that Restream does. Restream, just like its name suggests, what it does that's really good is that it allows you to get in front of your camera and go live, not just to one location, but to as many different locations as you want. So, for example, today I am going live onto Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn, all 4 places. So for me, I know that some of my people really prefer to spend their time online on Facebook. But I have another audience, like I have an audience of people who subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is a reminder, if you always want to catch up with my videos and watch the replays, they're all being archived over there on YouTube. And so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just go onto YouTube and look for Brad Powell Video. That's my channel name. And you'll find me. And you can subscribe. And then you'll see the archive. You'll get all that stuff, all the stuff going back years. And I think, I don't know what the recent view is. I've had at least 500,000 views on my videos at this point in time, which is not too bad. I'm no giant influencer, but I'm getting there. And anyway, a lot of my people prefer to consume this kind of content on YouTube. And so I can be going live on Facebook and on YouTube. And by the same token, several of the people that I have in my network, a few thousand people, are in fact their preferred place of being is over on LinkedIn. And so I can be hosting this event, my weekly Face the Camera show, and I can actually broadcast it out to these different locations so that all of you can join me at the same time. And in fact, by sharing your names and your pictures on the screen using Restream, I can connect you to each other. We're having this great multi-platform live event, which I think is the coolest thing. And it's one of the best things that Restream provides. All right, so from Laguna Beach, it's Kristen. There she is. And look, she's got the red, white, and blue thing on. So Kristen, you must have voted already. Congratulations. Now you can just go, it's over. And yeah, so if you're interested in Restream, you can actually join. It's free. And you can use this link, restream.io/join/showup. This URL. And you can start using Restream right away for free They have a free level, but then if you want to upgrade and take advantage of the over 30 destinations that they have possible, if you want to start reaching many more places, you can upgrade. And by using this link right here, you're going to get a credit in case you ever decide to upgrade into their professional level. So there's my plug for Restream. Thanks, Restream, for making these videos possible. And now I'm going to get on with my content. How to make videos that convert. So how do you do it? Well, in order to really get to the answer to this question, the thing that we want to discover is that we want to think about what is it that keeps people from buying. Okay, so if we can answer this question, like why is it that people may be seeing you online, they may be seeing your offers, they may be seeing your video that you're making, they may be, having some kind of interaction to you, but if they're not buying, the question is, why not? Like, what is holding them up? And this is what I'm going to go over. There's 3 basic reasons in all cases, which is why they're not yet buying. And if you have any ideas, I'd love to see like what you think. What's the number one reason that people aren't going to buy from you? Anybody? I'm going to look in the chat here and see if anyone has a guess. And we'll give it about 10 seconds here, and then I'm going to tell you the first answer. So thing number one, when people are looking at you and they're watching your video and they're consuming your content, but they haven't yet bought from you, the biggest reason, the biggest holdup that is super common is they just don't trust you yet. Like, this world is filled with people who are pushing stuff and pitching stuff and selling stuff. And so the average person out there who's watching your video, and this may be you right now, you're sitting there like this going, okay, I've seen this before, tell me something I haven't heard. and they look at you somewhat askance. And you could, I don't want to get into politics, but you could apply this to the political world. Like, people are looking at candidates on both sides of the aisle, and they're looking at them like this going, I don't think I trust you. I don't think I trust any politician. And the same is almost equally true of people who are in business and the general public looking at people who have a business, and they're thinking, oh, you're just trying to sell me something. So they don't yet trust you. And so the question becomes, what can you do to build their trust? Like, what's the number one thing that you could do when you're on a live video that would earn trust? And the answer isn't to tell them all about yourself or to tell them all about your product or to tell them all about your service or to tell them how great you are or how great everything is in terms of what you do. That generally isn't going to earn any trust at all because, first of all, just why should they believe you? So the thing that I see that seems to work most often and most effectively is to use story, and in fact to use a story about one of your clients, one of the people who you've worked with, who has had success from working with you. Tell their story and tell it in the context of, here's a person who's just like you. And they had the same problem that you did. And in there, and you paint a before picture, like here's what it was like before, and here's the struggles that they had, and here's the problem that they had, and here's the worry and the concern that they had, and here's the things that they tried that didn't work, and the continued struggle that they had. And then something happened. And the something happened is they started doing your work. They started doing the thing that you do. They started applying the principles and the ideas that you helped them deliver, and they got this result. And notice that this kind of story is all about the person who you worked with. It's all about them. And depending on the kind of person you're talking about, this person could be very much like the target audience that you're trying to reach. So for instance, if you're trying to reach, young mothers, then tell a story about a young mother who had a big success with you and tell that whole story. And so all the young mothers roll out there and go, oh my gosh, here's somebody who's just like me. And they were able to do this. And if they were able to do it, maybe I could do it. And if they were able to do it because they worked with you, well, great. You're starting to earn their trust. They're starting to believe that it's possible. And they're starting to believe, because of this other person's story, that they could do it too. Now, the best way to tell that story isn't necessarily to tell the story yourself. The best way to tell that story is to bring on your client who had the success and bring them on as a guest on your live video and ask them questions and interview them and get them to tell their story live, and get them to tell their story live in a forum like this where the people who are watching can actually ask them questions, so that the dialogue and the conversations becomes one between your guest, the client who's had this success, and the people who are watching. Now, the people who are watching are going to trust this person who you have as a guest, because they're going to see themselves in that person and in that person's story. And now you're just like standing over here watching, and you're watching this cool conversation going on between your star client who's done really well and your audience members. And they're meeting each other and they're starting to engage. And this is probably one of the best trust building activities that you can do. And it is a form of storytelling. It's a form of live video storytelling, and is one of the most effective ways to build trust with your audience. So that's thing number one. People don't trust you, and if you want to build trust, then all you need to do is tell your client's story. Right. Okay, so here was this was guest number one. This was a guest that said, they're not seeing us. That's a really good reason for people to not actually buy from you, is because they don't see you. And of course, if I step back a minute, yeah, you're absolutely right. The reason they don't buy is they don't see you. Like, they have never seen you. You're completely being missed. And this, of course, is a really good reason to do live video. So if you want to be seen, in fact, just the whole reason behind this show, if you want to be seen, if you want to, cut through this problem of your audience and your people not seeing you, the most effective, the most efficient, probably the cheapest way to do this, to actually get your people to meet you and see you, is to get in front of the camera, to literally face the camera and go out and start doing live video. So yeah, this is actually a great answer. And it's the literal starting point. And I guess, what I'm talking about today is, it's like, okay, so now that you've decided to show yourself, that's step number one, show yourself. And, or step zero is start showing up. After you're showing up, now the second thing to do is to start earning trust. And the best way to earn trust is to bring in someone who's gotten results from doing the work that you provide, and share that story with your audience. And that's a really good thing. And some of you may be going, well, I'm just getting started. So, I don't think I have any stories. And so the thing you want to do, if that's the case for you, if you're just getting started, is that you want to immediately go find somebody and work with them and ensure that they have success. And then when they do, tell their story. And so between now and the end of the year, plenty of time, between now and the end of the year, go work with someone, ensure their success, and as soon as that happens, you can start telling their story. No matter how you manifest that, You can make that happen. Every one of us can make that happen. And it's really straightforward. In fact, this is just one practice that you want to be doing, is that you want to be ensuring, you obviously want to be ensuring your client's success. And then you want to tell and retell their stories over and over and over. Just keep doing it. All right. So thing number 2, what do you suppose is the second reason why people don't buy from you? Thinking about it? First one was they don't trust you. What would be the second one? Okay, I won't keep you in suspense. The second one is they don't trust your product, or they don't trust your service. Like, you're telling them, well, if you want to work with me, I have this thing. It could be, an online course. It could be coaching. It could be something that you sell that's physical. It could be, if you're fitness, a workout routine. It could be your yoga classes. Whatever that is, it's sort of like your way of delivering your service or your product. And they're looking at that going, well, I can see that worked for that other person over there, but I'm different. Like, for me and the kind of thing that I do, I don't think that will work for me. For me and the kind of issues that I'm facing in my life, which I think are totally unique to me, I don't think what you're doing and what you did with this other person will apply to me. I think I'm totally different. And a lot of people think this. They think, oh my gosh, my circumstances are, different, and they're bigger and they're worse. And I've tried a dozen different things, and I've just, I'm settled, and I don't think anything is going to help me. And so this is a bigger one. Like, this is like, okay, so, they might believe that you can do this for other people. They trust that might be true, but now they're thinking, yeah, but for me, I don't think it'll work. I don't think your product will help me really. And so you need to do another kind of thing in order to get them to be believing that it will work for them. And the way you do it is you actually have to start telling more stories that involve different kinds of people. In fact, as many different types of people who have many different types of circumstance as possible. So this person, whoever they are, will start seeing themselves and they go, oh, okay, so I can see that this service, this product works for many different kinds of people. Many different kinds. And maybe I'm not so different after all. And so this is just the process of, okay, so you want to collect your stories that are successes from your clients, and you actually want to collect a very diverse set of stories. A set of stories from a diverse set of people of all kinds who've had all kinds of trouble, and you've been able to help all these different people, all these different ones who were doing different kinds of things and still had success. So if that's possible, then great. And people start going, oh, okay, well, I can see that this doesn't apply for just one thing. This applies for like practically everything. And then they start believing that it might be possible for themselves. Because the thing about this is that, and this is getting on to number 3, but the thing that really holds people up, the thing that really blocks people from buying isn't so much that they don't believe in you, and it's really not so much that they don't believe in your product. It's because they don't believe in something else. And I'm going to just see if anyone can guess what that is. What is it that they don't believe in that's keeping them from step number 3 here, from actually jumping in and saying, okay, now I'm ready to go. All right, so they just don't trust themselves, right? Here they are, and they don't believe that they can do it. They've tried everything, Let's say they're trying to lose weight, and it's like, well, I've been on 18 diets, and even though some of them sort of worked for a little while, and I did lose a little bit of weight, I gained it right back. And they start thinking things like, well, it's just my genes, and everybody in my family is overweight, and I don't ever, like, I'm not, like, I'm just not built to be a runner. Like, I'm not going to do any of these things. So they just settle for living the life that they feel like they've been given, and they just don't believe that they can do this. They just don't see the possibility that they could do it. They look at, the world, and they look at your clients and they go, well, that was really cool for them. And they see, lots of people getting success, but then they look at themselves and they go, yeah, but not me. I don't believe that I am going to be able to do this. And they don't believe in themselves. And this is the biggest hurdle. This is the biggest obstacle for any one of us in business, when we're talking to people and we're trying to get them to believe, or we're trying to get them to say yes to the opportunity that we're offering them. Like, yes, I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you with this issue. I'm here to help you with this thing. And they're going, I don't know yet, but I just don't think I can do it. So this is a big, big deal. And no amount of persuasion is going to change their belief. That's just not going to happen. So how do you do it? This is the thing. How do you do this? Well, the answer is actually not hard. Like, it's pretty simple. You can make this happen, and you can make it happen in the context and in the medium of live video. So when you're doing your live video, you want to, at least some of the time, give the people who you're talking to, the folks who are watching your live in the moment, in real time, you want to give them the experience of getting at least one step closer to the result that they're looking for, to get just one step closer to the thing that they really want. And you do that live. You do that in the moment. And so, and the easiest thing to do is to do something that gives them a quick win. Do something that gives them something that they can walk away with and go, gosh, I did that. And it wasn't that hard. Now I can try this out. So, for example, I'm giving you guys some quick wins right now. Like, if you have a client in your past who had a success, and you are brave and you're going to go do a live video this week, don't wait. You don't have to wait. Start tomorrow. You go live just with your phone, or you go live with your laptop and use Restream. Do something like that and tell the story of your client's success. Do that on a live video. You will earn the trust of people who are watching. And at the end of that video, you can invite people to get on the phone with you and say, hey, let's do a discovery call. Let's do a strategy session. Let's see if this result that this client got would be a really good fit for you and your situation. Let's see if we can apply this to your life or to your work or to your world. And you will find that all of a sudden, you'll be breaking down the barrier of distrust. That's a very easy thing to do, and it's a very quick win, and I'm offering it to you right now. Go try it, and if you do try it, I would love to hear back from you. And if you've ever done this in the past, put a comment in the chat and say, yeah, it does work. I know this to be true. That would be great. So, the quick win thing is probably the most effective thing that you can do. And it comes from in a couple of ways. Like one part of this is just simply this giving them the experience of getting closer to what they're looking for. When you're telling a story of a client's success, when we hear that story, our brains will have like the emotional content of the story. Whatever the person in the story was feeling when they got the result that they wanted, anybody who's listening to the story will experience that same emotional feeling. They'll have the same feeling. And when we feel the same way as the people in the story, we're getting that same experience. And so this is one way to literally give people experience of getting closer to the result, because we literally embody it, we feel it. And this is one of the great ways that story and storytelling works. Even if you're doing something as simple as getting your client on and you do an interview and the two of you are talking, that is a form of storytelling. And when the client is getting all excited or maybe they get tears in their eyes or whatever they get, whatever emotional thing that they're expressing from getting the result, and they don't have to be sitting there and singing your praises, they just want to tell their own story. And if they're doing that and people are watching, the people who are watching are going to have the experience, the emotional experience that's the same as the person telling the story. That's why storytelling is so popular. That's why we listen. It's because we like, in fact, we crave that kind of emotional experience. And if, in addition to that, then you wrap things up by giving people something to do, some process, some step to take, something that they can immediately put into action. And then they go off and it's easy for them. They can spend 5 or 10 minutes or whatever small length of time, and they do this one thing, and then they get the result. They are going to trust you. They're going to trust your product because you just proved that your product works for them, and they're going to trust themselves. They're going to start believing, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do it. And when those things happen, the barriers are breaking down. The barriers of trust are breaking down. The barriers between them not stepping up and actually moving to the place where they're saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to buy. Where do I sign up? How can I get started? That door opens wide. It opens wide. All right, so let me just glance at the chat here. I don't actually see any new questions. If you got any questions for me on this process, go ahead and put them in the chat. And I'm going to glance at my notes and make sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to do. I want to remind you guys that in 2 days' time, 2 days after the election is over, and we're all going, whew, oh my gosh, we're so glad this is over with. In 2 days' time, on Thursday, I will be going live in my other show, which is called Live Stream Stories. And in this case, I'm being joined by a guest, a guy by the name of Scott Stolze. And Scott Stolze is a communications coach. His business is called Create Your Great, which I think is a great name. And we're going to talk about how to do storytelling and live streaming without having to rehearse. Like without the panic and the anxiety and all that stuff that goes into, oh my gosh, I have to get in front of the camera. I have to practice. I have to rehearse. I have to do all this stuff to put on this performance. So Scott's going to come on and he's going to show us his techniques. And it doesn't mean that you don't prepare, but you do not need to rehearse. So learn how to go live and do the kind of storytelling that I'm talking about without rehearsing. And this is what we're going to talk about 3 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. And if you don't want to miss that, go over to YouTube and look for Brad Powell video on YouTube. That's my YouTube handle. And subscribe to my channel over there. And you'll never miss another one. And yeah, that's my main call to action for today. We are now well past the half hour. And I want to thank you all for joining. And join me again on Thursday. And good luck tonight for those who are staying up late and watching the polls. I'm not sure I'm going to do that myself. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much for joining.